So
Clear, concise, to the point.
clear, concise, to the point.
Okay.
Don't ask an attorney to do that.
You're not an attorney, are you?
Heavens no.
No, but the last one was and the next one is, so we'll see.
Okay, and anytime you're ready.
We got a physician here, this is good. Matt, also when I ask a question, my question will not be in the video, so if you'll give context to your answer by replying with part of the question, so that the viewer will know what the context of the question is or what your answer is coming from. In other words, if I ask, what Rotary Club are you in, you don't go, Lookout. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Lookout, however you want to say it.
Okay.
Rotary Club of Morehead City Lookout, or just Lookout. All right? That makes sense?
I guess.
Okay, thank you. Matt, what Rotary Club are you a member of, and how long have you been a Rotarian?
I'm currently a member of the Morehead City Lookout Rotary Club. And I've been a member of that club since, I think, about 2002 or 2003. I was originally a member of the Morehead City Evening Club. And then, for personal reasons, I had to kind of put my membership on hold. And I think I joined that club maybe in the early 90s.
All right, thank you. Look at me. Matt, I'm interested in, you joined the Lookout Club when it was fairly new, is that correct?
Yeah, it had been there for a few years, I think. I can't remember exactly when the Lookout Club started.
One thing that I remember about the Lookout Club is the global projects that the club was involved in. I understand you were a major factor in several of those. Can you outline one of them to me?
Yeah, I think it would be helpful to maybe talk about the first international project that our club became a part of. It was the first international project for the Lookout Club, and that was a rather small project in Ghana. Our club had received a presentation from the Full Belly Project down in Wilmington on a peanut sheller that they had invented and was made of very commonly available materials and would be helpful to people in primarily third world countries in harvesting and processing peanuts. And coincidentally, my daughter, who was a student at Elon University at the time, came back from a study abroad trip in Ghana, telling me how in one of the villages that she visited, they grew peanuts and shelled them by hand and so on and so forth. So I started thinking about the Full Belly Project, and I put together a project in conjunction with Elon University and with the Ho Technical Institute, which is currently now called the Ho Technical University in Ghana. And we made arrangements to purchase a peanut sheller kit from the Full Belly Project. And my daughter and her boyfriend at the time, now my son-in-law, went down to Wilmington to learn how to make one of these things. Then we brought it up to Elon, and the professor that supervised this Ghana trip every year made arrangements to take the kit over, and with the help of the Technical Institute people, they implemented this project. And it ended up, it cost between $2,000 and $3,000, but made a big impact in the lives of the people in that village because it mechanized the process of shelling the peanuts. which took a great deal of time with the women and children in the village. So that freeing up that time allowed the children to go to school and do other things that was, would be better for their future, and also freed up the women's time. So it was very successful, and we repeated the project the following year. We did it for a second time.
That's excellent. That story so inspired me when I heard it, and I was in the Noon Club when they, I think, did some work with you. Did they go in on it financially?
No, they didn't. I think I did a presentation on it,
Okay.
maybe.
How was this financed?
It was financed solely by our club. We didn't look to get any matching funds or anything like that. And again, it wasn't a whole lot of money. It was basically the cost of, a box of metal parts, and the most expensive thing was the mold to make the two concrete pieces that comprised the machine. And and there was some time involved, but
You were a career as a physician, an orthopedic surgeon. Why did you choose to join Rotary? What did Rotary do for you, in addition to being a family man and a husband and being a physician?
well, I think it gave me, a different outlet for some of my creativity of thinking and so forth. It was very different from what I did for a living, and I felt that it was a very worthwhile cause. I was initially approached to join Rotary by Bill Ward, who had been a longtime friend of mine. And he made a very compelling case for me joining Rotary. And I certainly did not regret it. I enjoyed the camaraderie, the socialization, and also the fact that we gave back to the community. I was particularly impressed as I looked into Rotary that virtually all of the money that was contributed to the foundation went to projects. And at that time, virtually no money went for administrative costs. I think now it's even less than 5%. And I was impressed with that, that the efforts of Rotarians, both with their time and with their money, was being used for something good.
Finally, this video is hopefully going to be shown and available, to the whole world through YouTube. Also, hopefully the Big Rock Foundation, we hope that they fund this. Number two, through our history museum, through our schools, and what do you want the future young man or woman or the young professional who sees this video, what do you want them to know about Rotary?
Well, I think I want them to know that there's a lot of opportunity out there to help people who are not as fortunate as we are. I think that very simply and succinctly states what Rotary is about. We're very fortunate in this country, and I had the good fortune to visit El Salvador, where our club did another project, and to see how those people were living and what we did to make their lives better. And to us, it would seem almost impossible to believe that people were living like that. And I think that's the attraction of Rotary, and I think that's what needs to be impressed on young people, that they can have a huge impact on people who are not as fortunate as they are.
just very briefly, I also knew about that El Salvador project, and of course, you and I worked on that about 2 years ago when I had another project on the global grants. Could you just briefly review what that project was?
Yes, that project was, that was a global grant project, and that project was in partnership with the Peace Corps in El Salvador and a couple of different organizations in the area around San Juan, El Salvador, which was a small town of about 750 people who did not have any type of modern plumbing, were cooking on open fires in their houses, and that project basically provided construction of stoves made of concrete in the homes with a chimney that went outside so they weren't breathing in smoke, as well as the construction of about 25 composting latrines. They, of course, were using very basic outhouses with, human waste, contaminating drinking water, and so on and so forth. And so that project was done also with the assistance of the host club, one of the Rotary clubs in San Salvador, and was very successful. And the people there were so grateful, and I had the opportunity to visit the village, and it was a wonderful project, about $35,000, and there were several clubs here that participated, the Noon Club and the Old Town Club, as well as the district, and we had matching grants from the district and from Rotary International. So it was about a $35,000 project. The mayor's office in the locality there, in the larger town close by, they contributed $10,000.
I'm trying to think of what the question I was going to ask. That Rotary has their areas of emphasis. So the projects you did really affected women and children and clean water. Could you just really briefly address that those were the things of Rotary's areas of emphasis? Those were the two areas of emphasis that those projects covered?
Certainly the project in Ghana was directed at women and children who at the time of harvesting peanuts were, every waking hour was taken up by shelling peanuts by hand. And of course we've all shelled peanuts, and when you're using that as a subsistence type crop, not only eating the peanuts yourselves, but also selling them to get money to buy other things, it's very, very time consuming. And with the peanut sheller, they were able to reduce that time by multiples. And so like I said before, that allowed the children to be more focused on learning and education, and the women, devoting more time to raising the children and doing other things that benefited their own community. And then, of course, the clean water project and more health-directed project in El Salvador, I think, speaks for itself. The composting latrines will last virtually forever. They have two compartments in them. One is composting while the other is being used, and every 1 to 2 years they switch. They remove the compost, use it on crops and so forth. And so that's something that's going to be helpful to them for many, many years. And then the stoves in the homes, eliminating problems with lung disease and so on and so forth, because cooking on an open fire that's not vented inside your house is generally not a good idea. Certainly nothing we would do in this country.
Thank you so much. Those were the high points that I wanted to hit of your Rotary experience. Thank you so much for sharing on that.
Okay, hang on one second.
That says we're done.